Yo, we live on location, the Yay Area 2025 NBA All-Star Weekend, and we out here with our unk, man. We got one of the best to ever do it, 17 years in the league, NBA champ, Naismith Hall of Fame. It's all up here. I don't even see it. 75 best ever. I could drop the mic after that, but I ain't gonna do it because he the best defensive player of the year as a guard ever. Yeah. IOG, our unk.
My man.
Gary Payton, ladies and gentlemen.
Yes, sir. Appreciate you coming on the show.
OG.
Some of the people that embraced us soon as we got to the league was, Dikembe, Lonzo Mourning, Patrick Ewing, and it was definitely you. Going to Seattle, playing in the celebrity game. Mm-hmm. As soon as we got to the league, it was like we was already family. Like the way you talked to us, it made us feel comfortable. Even though you was talking shit, but that's what we was used to growing up. So it was like, oh no, he got love for us. It wasn't the other way around. But we appreciate you coming and rock with us. Long time of coming. Last time we talked to you, it was the first time we ever started this podcast.
AI and all of us, man.
So definitely it's a pleasure to get you down here in the Bay Area, hometown. So thank you.
Well, I just want to tell y'all, man, I'm proud of y'all, man. You saying that, I seen something in you too. You know what I'm saying? I knew that y'all both was gonna be that one, you know what I'm saying? So it was embrace me. And then especially when I had asked y'all to come to my celebrity game, man, and y'all was rooks, man. Y'all was youngsters, man. But
playing hard as hell.
Y'all was going at it at the celebrity game, but I said that's good. But I just want to congratulate both of y'all. Y'all doing a great job, man. Keep this market going, man. Y'all know what's going on, man. I've seen greatness in you. Keep having greatness in you.
Yeah. Appreciate it.
So the last time we asked you who the first person bust your ass, you said MJ. Mm-hmm. Do you remember the game that you played in the league, your first game you played in the league, where you felt like, oh, I can really get busy on this level?
You know what, D? It was about 3 years later in my career. You know what I'm saying? You guys remember I told you I was struggling for the first 2 years because I had lost myself. Mm-hmm. I had lost myself. I didn't think I needed to work out, nothing. I was mediocre. Seattle wanted to trade me. And then all of a sudden I got back with Tim Gergerich. Gerg got back with me and started doing the things with me. And then that 1 year, that third year when I made the All-Star team in Utah, and I knew I was here. I knew I could dominate anything in the NBA. And then when I started doing that and I started, understanding the game, I got to understand the game. I didn't understand the game. I thought I was bigger than the game because I had got drafted number 2 and I was that one in college. It ain't like that. And that's when I finally realized, D, that I was the one. Yeah. I was the one that I can do everything.
I'm a St. John alumni. I heard that you almost went to St. John. Don't hate on that. Don't hate on that.
How can he say he's an alumni of a college university when this motherfucker went straight out of high school? You committed. That was
committed.
It. The buck stopped there. Shout out Coach Jarvis. No, you're not. No. Alumni means you attended the school at some point. Hell no.
I went to Midnight Madness on my visit.
Man, when he saw Jay-Z perform at the damn Midnight Madness, he think he went to the school. No. That show you how much he went to no school.
I can't agree with you on that.
I got St. John girl and all that stuff. They send me stuff like I'm alumni.
Too, and I committed to them too.
Okay. Let me get past with this. Since I'm St. John alumni, I seen Mullen last night. Since I'm St. John alumni, I heard that you almost committed to St. John.
D, I did commit to St. John's. I was going to St. John's.
I never knew that.
Yeah, we were in the gym at our high school. Greg Foster was with me, who was going to UCLA. And 20 minutes before the press conference, Louis Conaseca called me and said that he didn't want to take me because he didn't want to mess up his recruiting in the East Coast. And he wanted to take a guy because he didn't want his recruit to go and saying that they took a guy way west and they didn't know. And ever since till the day he passed, he was always saying, I messed up.
That's crazy.
And it was a good thing. It was a good mess up because, I went to Oregon State and I did what I had to do, and it was great. But I did commit to St. John. I wanted to play with Walter Berry. I wanted to play with Chris Mullins. I wanted to play with Mark Jackson, you know, Bill Wellington. They had a heck of a team, man, during that time, and I wanted to go and play with them.
How was it when you had the pivot? You just did it right off the bat like that, like when you said it was 20 minutes before when he called. How did you come back to Oregon State?
Q, it was a hard feeling, man. You know, you feel like when somebody let you down and you've been with them and you've been rocking with them. You done went on a recruiting trip. You done cut all of the other schools off, and you talking about you want to be there. And then all of a sudden, you know, my parents look at me and I was like, you know, I walked out of the gym, went to class. Everybody was, you know, tripping about it. And then all of a sudden, when we got home, all I did was I said, man, Moms, I think I made a mistake. I don't know what I'm doing right now, man. I'm just going off of fame. I'm going off of stuff, but I'm not going off of honesty and who I should be with. And then she was like, you know, look, son, you got to believe in God, believe in your faith. You got here for a reason. And then I just did like this. I said, Mom, check this out. You pick the school. I don't even want to deal with it anymore. I said, I don't even care what we do. You know, you pick it. It is what it is. And then we got it back out on there that I was on the market. I was. A lot of schools came back at me because you remember they went on from being with me to their second choice. But then they said, forget it. We gonna bring up another scholarship, and then about 10 schools came back at me. And then we made an announcement to do it again. And then this time I went up there and I said, look, man, I don't know where I'm gonna go. I'm gonna let my mom introduce it. And then once my mom introduced it, she pulled out the hat of Oregon State. The coaches from Oregon State came out of the back. I didn't know what was going on, and I went to Oregon State.
That's crazy.
That's dope. You was on the front cover of Sports Illustrated when you was at Oregon State. You know, I got a front cover too. Look, ESPN.
Boy, you going at your hell.
I don't know what he thinking. I got covers too.
That's just ESPN. They want Sports Illustrated. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to Players Tribune. You know, they run Sports Illustrated.
I get it, nephew.
You know.
I get it.
But, you know, to be at Oregon State, you know, back then, and, you know, you have premier colleges, bigger colleges, for you to be at Oregon State and be a player at Oregon State and get the front cover. What did that mean for, like, the school and, like, recruitment for Oregon State? Because I know Oregon State is not the most popular choice for everybody. You know, everybody see the ones that they see on TV all the time.
You know what, D? That was crazy because when I looked at what my mom picked for me, and we had NC State, we had Marquette, you know, he had Texas out there, and I was like, dang, why you pick this school? You know what I'm saying? But it was like this. It was like she said she wanted me to be with a coach who was going to be disciplined. And then she wanted me out of the city. And that was a country school. You know? And then when I went there, you know, they weren't as big. You know, and then when I started being there, and then we started getting ranked, and we was ranked all the time, and we was going to the NCAA tournament, and then all of a sudden, Dick Vitale put me on the map.
Diaper Dandy.
We got Diaper Dandy out there in the West Coast, and he's at a school called Oregon State. You know, and he started putting me out there, and then that's when it took off. You know, Ramil Robinson was the premier point guard at the time. We decided that I said that we have to play these schools for them, the people, to understand who we are. We start playing the Tennessees, the Memphis. We start playing these schools, the North Carolina States. We start playing them, and we start beating them. You know what I'm saying? And then I was having 30, doing that, and having 10, 11 steals. I was doing that. I was averaging about 8 or 9 steals almost, really. In Pac-10, I was averaging 5. So it was like that. And then all of a sudden, the school got big. And then when it got big, Sports Illustrated came. Everybody started coming. I became an All-American. Then I was a candidate for Player of the Year. You know, I won 2 years. At that time, they was giving away about 4, 5, 6 different, you know, Player of the Years. And I won 3 of them. And then Lionel Simmons won the rest of them. Remember? And then they came with the Sports Illustrated, and then that's when it took off, and Oregon State took off, and they started becoming big because we started making notoriety at Oregon State at a small town called Corvallis. That was it.
How many workouts you did when you decided to get drafted?
I only did 2. Only went to two teams.
Did you work out or you just had little dinner meetings?
We had a one workout and then a dinner meeting. The only team worked me out was New Jersey. Okay. They had the number 1 pick.
Okay.
So you remember they wanted a point guard or a big man, and it was either me or Derek Coleman that was going to go there. Yeah, and Seattle,
DC, OG.
My OG, that's my partner. That's my guy. So it was Seattle was the 2nd pick, and we had already knew Seattle was going to pick me if they had it. And then I wanted to go to the Northwest because I was in the Northwest. So I told New Jersey that if you pick me, I'm not coming. And then they decided to pick Derek Coleman, and then you remember the next year they picked Kenny Anderson. Yeah. So they wanted a guard and a point guard and a forward and a big man to start it off, and Seattle got me, and then that was a great pick for me.
Tell us about the Northwest, because I had the opportunity to live in Portland. The team-wise, it didn't go as how I planned it to go. But
y'all was all right,
just the living from Seattle to Portland, you got the Doonies, you got all that over there. Even though it rains a lot, but it's a beautiful place to go. I'm telling my kids, like one of my sons are born in Portland, and he ain't never been to Portland or remember Portland because he was a baby when he was born there, and I left that same year. But just tell us about the Northwest in general, how the fans and the people are in the Northwest.
The Northwest is great. I love the West Coast. That is it. You know that I went to Oregon State for 4 years. I stayed there all my years. I could have came out without, but I loved it so much and went to 4 and then had 13 more in Seattle. So I was 17 years in that Northwest. Yeah. That Northwest with the fans, they're crazy about you. If you do the things for you, they're gonna stick with you through thick and thin. I don't care about the rain. It doesn't matter. They make coats. They make hats. They make cars. They make valets. I don't have to walk in the rain. They make umbrellas. So it doesn't matter to me. You know what I'm saying? So that doesn't get it. It's a beautiful city. My kids was born out there too. All my sons was born out there. They was born in Seattle. My daughter, she was born here in Oakland, but she went there when she was 1, so she basically from there too. So they love it. We go back all the time. You remember Gary, Gary the second to number 2. He's in Seattle. He's in Portland. You remember he went to Oregon State. He came right after me. You know what I'm saying? So he loves it out there. His daughter is now born out there, and she's there. So the Northwest is great. I'm there all the time. I be in Nike without there. They're there all the time. All our family is out there. It's a great thing to be in the Northwest. It's a beautiful city. It's great for your family to grow up kids there. We just got to make our kids go back and see that great ability about it. Let's take them there and let them walk around and see where you come from, because this is where I started you and I created you. So you got to see where you're really, really born and you really were at, and they'll understand it. And I think they'll know it's a great city.
How crazy is that for you to have your son go to Oregon State just like you did, then, make it to the league and being an NBA player? Like, I see you all the time beaming with pride on the sidelines and everything else, but tell me how that feels to have your son do basically exactly what you did, and then, become he a better athlete than you now. He a better athlete.
You got it. He's a better athlete than me. You know that.
But just to see him walking walk the walk that you did and make the league, how much pride you taking that?
Q, it's about a father now, being a father. Being a proud father to see what you created and what you did, where him being around basketball with me all the time, to see the things that he do and then to transition to it. I always used to criticize him. I criticized him so much that it meant his relationship got bad by that. Now what I've done is I become his father. I support him. I support him on everything he does right now. And it's a great feeling because now we transition from us having a bad relationship to him saying, Pops, man, I'm sitting there on the sideline and he's like, man, I should have had that steal, Pops. You know that, whatever. Because that's becoming now a friendship and a fatherhood. And I had to understand he can't be me.
Right.
It's only one Gary Payton. I just named him after me. That's it. So I tell him, look, I'm here. You could be right next to me and put your picture right next to me and we'll be together. You know what I'm saying? So I had to transition from that, from being a basketball player to a dad. And I gotta understand that, and we all have to understand.
We be hard.
We hard on them. We hard on them, and we proud though.
Yeah.
What you just did with me, with your daughter, is showing you proud of that because you showing up, and I'm proud to see that. You know what I'm saying? So we have to understand. We got to transition and be the daddy. We can't be us because our era is gone, and we did what we did, and they can't do what we did. You know, because we that person. We always think, man, I would have did that. I would have did that. No, it's not like that. It's not a generation like that no more. It's their generation. And we got to understand, we got to adjust to their generation and just support them, and then they'll get better. And then we got to take them and say, oh, look at this, look at that, what you got to say, you know, and give them a lot of input on what they're doing so that we can help them with it.
We had Shawn Kemp on the show, and to this day,
he made that
crazy
happen.
Kemper.
First of all, we got to salute him for making that happen because big homie wasn't coming out for nobody. When I called OG, he said, hey, I'm a see. He said, but I'm gonna tell you right away, like ESPN, TNT, all these people been trying to get me for years. And he called me back, he said, I don't know what the hell it is about y'all, nephew, but he said he gonna do it. Listen, so that's OG right there. He made that happen.
We had Shawn Kemp on here, and to this day, I have this VCR tape called The Rain Man that I used to look at.
VH?
I got the VH.
You got the VH?
I showed it to him.
I still got a machine, a VH.
I still got the TV,
I got mine too.
TV with
Absolutely, with the thing at the bottom.
Combo.
They don't know nothing about that.
They don't know nothing about all that.
But I had to show him that I used to watch this tape all the time of him when I was coming up, just to seeing how he was dunking, how he was catching passes, so forth on. In our culture, you know, we definitely want to hoop and we want to be good, but we want not only our peers, but we want our culture to embrace us. You know what I'm saying? It makes us feel like kind of like superheroes.
Right.
You know, to have two iconic, you know, some of the best nicknames in Rain Man and the Glove. But how did you feel when you know, now your name is in rap songs, you on the commercials, everybody calling you by your nickname, and you know, just our community really embracing who you are. Even though you way up in the Northwest, it was going all the way across the land, no matter where you was. How was that for you?
D-Doubt, you know what? It's a transition because, you know, we never grow up talking about we're gonna be this and be that. I didn't never say I was gonna be a top 75. I never said I was gonna be a Hall of Famer. I didn't know I was gonna be that. I didn't know I was gonna have an opportunity to play with a guy called Shawn Kemp, and his nickname would be the Rain Man, and I'm throwing lobs to him and doing things like that. It's just like with you two. You guys didn't know that y'all was gonna meet and become who y'all were, and y'all became the Knuckleheads. It happens, and it's just a faith. And then it's a faith that it happened, and then you took it and we ran with it. In the Northwest, people wasn't even up watching our games because they was sleep in the East Coast. You know what I'm saying? When our game started, it was 10, 11 o'clock. They was going to bed. So they had to hear about us on Sports Center. When it, and they seen us throwing lobs and doing this. And then they started talking about, who is them two right there? You know what I'm saying? And then they started talking about the Rain Man, the Glove, getting it done again. You know what I'm saying? So it was like that. And it was good for us to get that little team and that duel, because then it started happening. It's like, here go a duel that you haven't seen. You're only hearing about Scottie Pippen. You're only hearing about Jordan and Scottie. And you was only hearing about John Stockton and Karl Malone. Then all of a sudden you start hearing about us two, and then we start making it happen, and then it blew up. And that's what it was. We just had a thing for each other to be friends, and then all of a sudden we had people who come and say, man, I'm gonna start naming you the Glove. This is why we name you the Glove, and we're gonna name you the Rain Man because you raining with dunks. You know what I'm saying? And it just happened, and we just got fortunate with it.
Tell me, just in '96 to win Defensive Player of the Year, and as a point guard, it's never been done. You know how big it is. how big was Unc's ego that summer? And I already know you a fool when you talk more trash than a little bit, but just like, cause we know how it is, like the summer after our season, especially whatever, if we do anything good, that's our runway. We about to do it.
Right.
Anywhere we show up, we about to walk in, head
Yes,
high,
sir.
talk our shit and let
Yes,
it be
sir.
known. Like, so I want to know where Unc was at in '96 after you didn't became the first point guard defensive player of the year ever. And
That's
you
considered a big man award.
Exactly.
Q, let me tell you, I was a fool. I was a fool. I was off the chain. Man. You understand me? Listen, Q, I was off the chain. So I'm going to tell you how this went, all right? 96, I went first team all league. I went first team all defense. I went on the Olympic team. I won, and we won a gold medal. I got the first contract of a point guard to be the highest paid point guard ever. They gave me $92 million for the first time. For the first time, 92. I won defensive
hell of a
player of the
summer.
year. And then all of a sudden, all of this started rolling in one. You know what I'm saying? And I did this all in 1 year and did that. I won almost everything in basketball during that time. You know, I was on every team, I was on the All-Star team, all that. Almost won MVP in the All-Star. They gave it to Mitch Richmond. I lost by 1 vote on that. So my life was on cloud 20. And I made it on cloud 20 because I was in the club every night after that. Then, you know, we went to Atlanta and played in the Olympics, and we was out every night in the strip club every night and blowing everybody out.
That's right. Dream
we
Team
was
2
doing
was
that.
in
Dream
Atlanta.
Team 2 was in Atlanta. And to make that and do that, that was one of the best things ever. That was probably one of the greatest years I ever in my whole life that I ever had.
Tell me about that though, because like a lot of people, you know, we haven't even really had the Olympics back in the States in a long time, but like to have the Olympics in Atlanta, what was that?
What?
That's gotta
Do you
be
understand? It was insane. And then they're going to witness it coming up now in 2028 because it's going to be in LA.
Right.
So you see what I'm saying? So it's going to be insane because you got it on the USA soil. You got everything cracking. And then you put it in cities that is cracking. Now you got it in Atlanta, which is woo-woo. And then all of a sudden, now you got it in LA, it's going to be woo-woo-woo-woo-woo-woo. You know what I'm saying? So you going to have fun because we here. You know what I'm saying? And it's going to be, you know, it was just insane to have it on our own soil.
We had DC on the show, and DC said Dream Team 2 is the best Dream Team ever out of all the Olympic teams. What's your thoughts on
Y'all could be Dream Team 1?
Absolutely. They were older. Come on, man. And then we took 6 of the Dream Team 1s and put it on our team.
Yeah.
But you guys got to understand, DC and them was the ones who went to the qualifying thing and didn't get on Dream Team 2. You remember that? Him and Shawn Kemp and all of them, they took them off because you remember they started holding on and all that and acting crazy. Then they put us on there. You know what I'm saying? And then they did that. You remember they had a lot of people. They had Glenn Robinson, all of them was on there. He was getting buckets, right? And then they put all the OGs on there after that and got the youngsters off there and did it. But we had a heck of a team. You remember we had a young Grant Hill. We had a young Penny Hardaway. You know, we had Reggie Miller. We had
Steve
Mitch
Smith.
Richard. We had, Steve was on the third. And then it was me. Then it was Lajuan, Shaq, John Stockton, Karl Malone, Akeem Olajuwon, David Robinson. We had a heck of a basketball team, you know what I'm saying? And we was killing it. It was all good.
Tell me this, right? Like you known as like one of the dudes that, you know, you had good matchups, you know what I'm saying, with MJ. You was one of the best people to guard him. How were you when you was watching The Last Dance and you was watching MJ talk about that matchup with y'all? Like, what was your point of view when you sitting back and you checking that out and you listening to MJ talk about the matchup between y'all?
Q, it was his production.
Right.
That's his production.
Right.
It's his production. I wouldn't even respected MJ if he would have said anything else.
Right.
That's his production. He supposed to giggle and laugh because I giggled and laughed too because everybody know what was good. You know what I'm saying? It wasn't nothing me bagging down. I didn't have no fear of that. We played basketball the same way, you know what I'm saying? When I switched on him, a lot of things changed, you know what I'm saying? But we're not going to say we would have won or whatever if I would have guarded him earlier, but it would have been a good matchup, you know what I'm saying? And it was good. And then during that time, you know, Phil Jackson did a great job because I was doing a transition. I was doing a lot of things during them times. And what he did was he put a bigger guard on me because, as you know, I posted up a lot. And I was doing very well in that series during the time. And then I had to face Scotty, who was a bigger guy where I couldn't put my back to the basket and do things. I had to face him up, and he was very quick. So Phil Jackson did a great thing with that, but I wasn't never worried about that. You know what I'm saying? MJ knew that I can play against him. I can guard him. I didn't fear him. I didn't do none of that.
I'm telling
I didn't fear nothing of that.
Chicago Bulls fans shook a little bit. I'm like, hold on, man. They really trying to go in. GP ain't scared. He locking up. Like, what's going on?
Yeah, we was just one of them things. I think what we did wrong, Q, was we played not to lose instead of to win. You know what I'm saying? And that's what happened. And then when we started to understand that we can beat them, it was too late. We had already got down 3-0. We beat them 2 times by almost 20 or more. And then when we went to Chicago, it was just too late. You know what I'm saying? And then we lost, game 1 or 2 by only 4 points or something like that. And then the game 6 was just, we couldn't overcome that. We just couldn't overcome it.
Hey, this is what I want to know. When y'all won in Miami, at what point, because you an OG, you've been there, you've been around the block, at what point did you see we can really get this done and we could really win? At what point did you see that in the season with the collection y'all had?
Q, that's a great question, man. Everybody don't really understand this. I was an OG on there. I was the oldest one on the team. So I was a captain. So I was the one had to deal with Pat Riley with a lot of things, with the cussing out and all that old stuff. Shaq got into it one time, and then I had to do it. We were, I think, 10 and 19 or something like that. We were 10 and 19 or something. And Pat Riley decided to take over the basketball team. And we went to Dallas and we got blew out. And then I did like this. I told Pat, I said, man, you got to get out the room. I said, I got to take over this team right now. So when I took over the team, I let everybody understand that we needed to have D-Wade to be the man. He just had to be the man and everybody had to play a role. Shaq had to step down. It was over for Shaq. I thought he can get the ball on the second tier and be our dominant. And everybody took that role. And once we took that role, I think we won 15, 16 games in a row, and then we became that basketball team. Once we got to the end of the season and we got into that fourth slot in the East, I told everybody we were going to win it. I knew we were going to win it because we were rolling too much. Everybody was doing what they were supposed to. We were playing. James Posey was playing it. White Chocolate was playing the right way. We were getting it done. We were getting it done. Alonzo was back to himself, blocking shots. Shaq was dominating it, and D-Wade was averaging about 30. So I said we're gonna get it done because we're too scrappy. And once we did that and we went through the East and we rolled through the East pretty easily and we got to Dallas and then Dallas beat us 2 times. And I told everybody, I said, when we go home, we're going to beat them 3 times in a row. And then we just have to worry about beating them in Dallas because we didn't beat them in Dallas. And when we did get home and we beat them 3 times in a row, I knew it was over because they couldn't deal with us anymore because their heart was gone and we had took everything away from them. And then all of a sudden we beat them in game 6 and we won it on their floor. Yeah.
You had a lot of teammates in your career over the years.
Yeah.
Out of all the teammates that you done played with in their prime, if you had to put you and 4 other teammates to make your ultimate 5, who would be them 4 other teammates that you would choose from all the teammates you done had?
They all in their prime. It don't matter when you played with them, whether they was old or not. When you pick them, they in their prime.
Ooh-wee. I'm going to say Shawn Kemp.
At the 4?
Shawn Kemp at the 4, Karl Malone. No, I'm going to put Shawn at the 3. No, I'm gonna put Kobe at the 2, Shawn at the 3, Karl Malone at the 4, and Shaq at the 5.
You had D Wade on your team too.
I had D Wade, but I
played with
couldn't. I
KZ?
can't put D Wade over Kobe.
Okay.
I can't do that. And then you got to understand, Shawn was a beast, man. He was a beast. Shawn was a beast, and then Karl Malone was a beast in his prime. And then I cannot not do Shaq. You know, I can't do that.
I got a start bench trade for you. You got start one, you got a bench one, trade one.
Okay.
John Stockton, Jason Kidd, Isaiah Thomas. Who do you start? Who do you bench? Who do you trade?
Come on, D.
That's insane.
Yeah, Lee. I'm gonna start John Stockton. I'm gonna bench Isaiah, and I gotta cut my boy. I gotta cut.
You gotta trade. You gotta trade.
I gotta trade J Kidd. I gotta trade him.
Okay, yeah. I knew that was gonna be hard.
Yeah.
When you was in the All-Star game, you was in an era where you didn't have to ask a player to compete hard. You know, you know, we laughed in the locker room, but when we got between them lines, it was on. You know what I'm saying? We trying to kill Jordan them. You on the West Coast, so forth on. To see the NBA trying to come up with all these different schemes
and tactics to get them
to try to get them to play. What do you think about, you know, what's going on with the All-Star game that we can't get the best pickup game on live TV no more how we used to?
D, I'm just gonna tell you flat, bro. It's about the money business because all these guys make too much money. They make too much money. You remember when we were coming up, we had to sign 6-year deals, 5 years, and we could not opt out. We had to go through the whole thing.
Yeah.
But the main purpose of this right now is we all weren't friends. We didn't all go out and banana boat together and do all that old stuff and be on trips together. We hated each other. You know, the West hated the East. West hated the East. We used to go at each other. We wasn't friends. We didn't take off our jerseys and hold them up at the half court and take pictures with each other and give it to them. I didn't care. Only time I was dealing with anybody on a different team is when we went to the All-Star game. Hey, what's happening? What's going on? After this, we ain't like this no more. You feel what I'm saying? So we went at each other during the All-Star game because of the simple fact of what? We wanted to be the best. We wanted the West to be the best in the East because they always were talking about Jordan and them winning all of this and that. Man, nah, man, I'm going to go at your helmet right now so you can understand who the game is because it's 12 good ones over here, 12 good ones over there, and we going to be the one because after this, we going to say who the best. The West going to be the best. I don't care about no championship. These 12 that get together, if we play right now, we going to win the championship. We're going to bust y'all heads. We're going to tear y'all ass up. You see what I'm saying? So that's what it was.
That's the energy
that's
we need
what it
back.
was, and we didn't care about all that. We didn't care. We wasn't friends. We wasn't on PlayStation on them headphones talking about, oh, I'm on your team, shoot that man, woo, woo, woo. We ain't doing all that. That ain't going to work for me. You know what I'm saying? So I'll see you when I see you, and that's it.
Let me ask you this. The NBA style has where the ratings then kind of went down. Like, they don't really like the style of it. You're starting to see teams shoot 50 to 55 threes a game. You grew up in the era where, you know, we seen a lot more stuff. Like, you rarely see the no-look pass because a 3-on-2 break, the wings are running to the three-point line. They're not running to, you rarely even see lobs. Like, you don't even see the lobs no more. Certain stuff that we grew up loving in the game is kind of almost extinct.
Gone.
You know what I'm saying? So what do you think about where the game is now and how they're shooting so many shots and they're settling for threes and these organizations, I don't want to just blame it on the player, these organizations with the analytic guys are encouraging them to, like, no, don't go to the basket and get you a free layup or a free dunk. Run to the three-point line and get that shot up. We want that more than what we want from that.
See, that's where we done messed up already. When the organizations bring a guy in with analytics, all he's doing is doing numbers. He probably has never played a game ever in his life. So he goes to a piece of paper and say, yo, know what? We productive right here if we shoot a three with this guy, whatever, instead of getting a bucket. But he doesn't see if we come down 10 times and we miss 10 free throw, 10 jump shots, and then we come down and shoot 10 jump shots, the score stays the same. But if we let them miss 10 jump shots and we come down here and get buckets and get 10 baskets, how much we got? We got 20-0 right now, or whatever we gonna have, we gonna be up. You see what I'm saying? So they don't get that. So they don't get none of that. But our weapon was the big man. We will push it in there. If he doesn't get double, he's gonna score. If Shaq doesn't get double, he's gonna score every time. If Hakeem Olajuwon doesn't get double, he's gonna score every time. If Yao Ming don't get double, he's gonna score every time. But then if we start doubling him, what does it do? Kick it out and we get wide open shots. If we run into the basket and we get in here and we put pressure on them after we make a great steal and get a bucket, they're gonna come down and shoot another three, and then we're gonna come down and get another bucket. Now we're putting more pressure on them because now we up 6, 7, 8, nothing, and they're not getting anything done.
Yeah.
So we don't think that way. And organizations put these guys in there talking about, oh, the analytics is if you just go out here and we shoot 100 threes and they shoot 50, we're gonna beat them. No, that's stupid. That's crazy. What if you don't be hot? That's crazy. Yeah. So let's go get a bucket and let's put pressure on them and do that and then play defense
or
and then get it
and get to the free throw line.
Right. They don't understand that. When you're in a bonus with 10 minutes, with 8 minutes to go, and it's only been 4 minutes and a quarter.
They can't touch you at all.
Can't touch you. Why not go to the basket and punish them and get them in foul trouble? Yeah. What are you gonna do? It's just like the stupid thing is at the top and roll when we play a pick and roll and we let the big man guard a guard and he runs back again for 8 possessions and then you don't call a timeout and change it. That's trash to me. That's stupidity. Yeah. And then we don't do nothing about it. So that's the way it goes.
You was one of the best guards I seen when I first got to the league, that you couldn't really screen you. Like the big man couldn't come up and really screen you. You knew how to get through it.
Right.
To see the whole NBA switch everything, no matter what the size of the guy is.
Wow.
How annoying is that to you to see that, like, man, y'all don't even give an effort of getting over. Like, you put pressure on yourself when you switching the guard on the big man.
And you see running his blood pressure up right now. With
yeah, I ain't trying to.
I coach now, and I coach, and it's crazy to me because I do my big man the same way. I be like, yo, look here, man. Don't switch. Push that mess under and let him get under and let him stay with his man because you can't guard it. And then I go to film and I say, okay, look, every time you switch, when is you gonna guard him? He's going by you every time. It gets my blood pressure so high, man. I gotta pop these pills all the time. Keep this blood pressure down, man. Yeah. Why would you put somebody on there that can't guard that person? Yeah. Why? Why not just get a scheme where if you don't want him to do it, trap it. Yeah. Trap it and get it out of his hand, and then we rotate and get back or get through it or you get through. But they don't teach that no more. Yeah. See, we don't have basketball practice to teach that. Exactly. And that's the problem. With me, we teach it. We taught it. I get my foot through there. If you hit me, I'm gonna fall and I'm gonna get an offensive foul on you, or I'm gonna get through it or I'm gonna break your hip. I'm gonna break your hip. If you screen me, I'm gonna knock your hip so hard.
You got is them knees.
Yeah,
I'll
tear your knees up. And if your knees tore up, he be like, man, I ain't setting the screen on GP no more.
This is our Emirates segment, right? All about where the ball could take you. And where's the craziest place you've been because of basketball? Like, when was the basketball the first trip you took internationally? Was it because of basketball?
Yes, it was. Yes, it was. We went to China. I had never been to China. Now you know I'm everywhere. I'm in small towns that I don't even know nothing about, man, in different countries, man, going to the Philippines, going to places like that, man. I ain't never been to these things. Y'all know we coming from the streets. Mm-hmm. We ain't never been in nothing like that. We just seen it on TV.
I just seen you in Dubai and everything, but you gotta tell them to bring your nephews next time you go
well,
to
come
Dubai,
on here with it, man. We know it, man. I'm bringing y'all, man.
Set it up.
I'm gonna be like, yo, let's bring the knuckleheads out there, man. Dance out there. You know what I'm saying?
I got one more question. Is it true that you won't let OKC retire the number 20 jersey because it's in OKC? And is it true that they haven't gave anyone the number 20 jersey?
Look at that smile. It's true.
It's true. It's true. D is true because I'm just gonna put it like this. Oklahoma City fans never watch me play a game in Oklahoma City. Mm-hmm. Who watch me play all the time?
Yep.
Seattle fans Why would I disrespect the Seattle fans by putting my right, going up there, getting in a celebration and on a court and let them get that when I disrespected them? I'll never do that ever in life. They're their fans. The fans in Seattle is the ones who supported me, got me to where I wanted to be. It's nothing against Oklahoma City. It's nothing against it. I never played ever one day in Oklahoma City. So I'm not doing that.
Right, yeah.
It's only right for me to respect the people in Seattle for that, and I won't do it. And it is what it is. They just have to understand it, and that's just where I'm going to be.
You done got basically damn near every accolade under the sun, the hoop, you know what I'm saying, in NBA, basketball, all that. How was it for you to be part of that top 75 celebration with all of the greatness that was in there? Like, what was that moment for you like?
It was great, Q. Well, for me to be with all of them guys that I looked up to and seen and did all the things too. I looked up to them when I was coming up, and then I have the opportunity to wear one of them blue coats with them and say, hey, I'm looking at Dr. J, man. I'm looking at Oscar Robertson, man. I'm looking at this dude, man. I watched these dudes on TV when I was a shorty, man, and now I'm sitting up here with the same coat on as him. And they talking about in 75 years of basketball, that means every year they pick one player that was the greatest player that was during that time, and I'm one of them 75. That's a cold thing to do, man. And they told me I was one of them dudes, man. They picked a year and they said I give it to Gary Payton.
Yeah.
And that's what it is, man. And it was just an honor to even be a part of that.
What was the energy like though? Like all that greatness in one arena. Like we from TV said, I felt the energy just coming out my TV. Like,
it was just there, man. You know what I'm saying? And then let me tell you how I even got even more popping. Well, everybody didn't think Jordan was coming. We sitting in the tunnel, and he come, and then everything spark up. Boom! We all start talking crazy to each other. We start doing everything, man. He come up in there talking about, man, I'll take you right now, Magic. I'll get at you, Magic. You know what I'm saying? He's like, man, you want to lace him up right now? And then we just all started laughing and then getting it in. That's an energy. But they took us in the back where it was just all of us.
Yeah.
And we sat on that big old podium and took that picture, and everybody hollering at each other. You feel what I'm saying?
Yeah.
We all hollering at each other, and we talking about, man, let me take a picture with you, man. Let me get your autograph, man. Let me do this. You sign in. It was one of them things, man. It was just ultimately cool.
That's what's up. Man, listen, man, we appreciate it, OG. Out here, All-Star Weekend in the Yay area.
In the Yay area.
It's only right it came together right here, right now,
Yes,
man.
sir.
Knuckleheads, OG, Gary Payton, man. We appreciate you.
Appreciate it.